What's happening, folks? How you doing? You are hanging out. It's a Friday evening. If you're watching the show and you're tuning in, I appreciate it very much. You're listening to Ritual Madness Podcast. I don't even know episode 241, I believe. Aha, who knows? I just want to say thank you for joining me. We're like a week off. We sponsored the Simothwa CD release last week, and it was fantastic. If you were able to make it, we appreciate it very much. They fucking kicked ass. Every band on the bill was fantastic. It was a little spooky, man. Club Underground is a small, sweaty little club that coming back from the COVID restrictions makes you want to think, fuck, I should have worn a mask in that place, because it is warm, it is sweaty, it's moist up in there, and it was a good time, though. It was super fun. We got a lot of really cool pictures, and it was fun. It was a good time. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're back at it. Do me a favor. Check out Anti-Broadcasting Incorporated Custom Screen Printing if you're looking to get some shirts done. Anti-Broadcasting is a place I go to. They're fucking fantastic. Quick turnarounds. Always quality stuff. That's antibroadcasting@gmail.com or 612-836-9488. Again, that's 612-836-9488. Good buddies of ours here at the podcast. They've done some podcast shirts for us, and we appreciate them very much. If you're looking to get some tattoo work done, you know who I talk to, the guys at Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective. 612-353-4755 or lowbrowsaints@gmail.com. Just go in there, tell Jason what's up, tell him you heard him on the podcast, man. He's been on the show a few times. Very cool cat. One of my brothers from another motherfucking mother. You know what I'm saying? And they always appreciate the business. They've always helped us and helped our friends get colorful in this piece. So thank you very much, and thank you for joining us. I'm hanging out with the cats from Defiled Sacrament. How's it going, fellas?
Not too bad. How about you?
Not too bad. Why don't you tell me your name and what you do in the band, and then we'll go from there.
All right, I'm Josh Jordan. I play lead guitar. And
yeah, I'm Stephen Roman, and I play the drums.
Nice, man. These cats are young cats. I mean, you look at the video here, you can see my old big ass sitting across the table from these fellas. These guys are young cats, man, 20s and shit, man. It's been so long since I've been 20 years old, man. I had a chance to catch these guys at the Safety Joe Fest, a memorial for our friend Joe Genovese, who passed away right around Christmas time. And you guys were a standout on this fucking bill for me, man, because
man.
Being young cats and seeing raw talent like that, man, it made me go back to when I started doing this shit, and playing in bands and being a part of this music scene, man, and how important it is to pay it forward. And I know that you guys had booked a show shortly after with Chris Stark. I think, what is that, the October 23rd one?
Yeah, Club Underground.
Yep, Club Underground. And I told him, I'm like, dude, if you don't get these kids on this fucking bill, man, you're slipping. And he was like, oh, I'll definitely talk to him. So I'm glad that you guys got on that bill. Very cool. I'm excited to see where you guys go, man. Being in young cats in a fucking up and coming band, dude, there's so much on the horizon for you cats. There's so many pitfalls that you have to avoid as well. You know what I'm saying? And when you get some old school cats like me and Chris, and the people we all hang out with and shit, we're always willing to share the things that we know about what's going on here in the music scene. And we were kind of talking about some of that stuff, like playing too many times in town a year is real tough. But being able to make those connections and getting out of town, or booking with bands or swapping shows with bands are really, really important. How many shows have you guys done with this particular project?
With Defiled, I think we're at 5 right now,
Yeah,
right?
I think 5 shows.
Yeah.
Man, super young, man. That's fantastic, man. It's good to see you cats at it, though, man. 5 shows is just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg, man. Let me see here. So what other projects were you guys in before this project?
Well, this project evolved from, I'd call it like black metal with a bunch of different genres filled in, called Sanctum of Dremora, and we played a couple shows And then things just kind of fell apart from the inside. And then Chase and I were like, we're not going to let this die, but we're going to make it sound more like us, because we kind of didn't want to. It was a compromise, and we kind of wanted to just have like-minded people. And then he hit up Steve, and we picked the name, and we just kept going. And that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, actually, Donnie hit me up on Facebook Messenger. We used to have a bassist in the band. His
Like a
name was
common
Donnie.
friend or something between
Yeah.
the two, yeah?
Yeah, mutual friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hit me up, and he was like, hey, we used to be in a band together, me and Donnie and Chase.
Yeah.
It never left the basement, though.
Yeah.
It was called Tied by a Noose. We never played a show, nothing.
Sure.
And yeah, but we used to be in that band back in the day. And then I quit that band, and then about a year later, Donnie hit me back up, and he was like, hey, I know we used to be in this band, and you didn't really like the direction we were going in or the kind of music we were making in the band. That's why you left. But we started this new band, me and Chase, and this guitarist Josh that we have.
Yeah.
And he was like, we're playing more heavier stuff than we used to, because like back in that band we also played like black metal kind of stuff too.
Sure. So in the beginning, like how heavy were you guys going to the point where you were like you didn't like the direction? Like what kind of stuff were you guys playing?
It was pretty much just straight black metal.
Okay.
And yeah, and not really heavy at all.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, he was like, yeah, this project that we got going on now is a lot heavier, and we were wondering if you'd like to join back. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to join back.
Yeah.
If we're playing like heavier stuff now.
Sure. Now with the other project with you and the vocalist, right?
Yeah, Chase.
What kind of stuff were you guys doing?
Well, with this week, with Defiled, we're kind of trying to go more like, we're not trying to limit ourselves, but like with the shows we played, we definitely were trying to like take black metal and take more of like a hardcore standpoint and kind of put it in there. But we were confused because we also like death metal, and it kind of fell apart for that reason.
Yeah.
But we kind of just wanted to be like straight up like heavy like death metal, and like deathcore is cool too.
Yeah.
So we felt like we were kind of limiting ourselves with that to like one scene, and with Defiled we feel like we can stick our tentacles in a bunch of different places.
Yeah. I like that you use the word tentacle. Tony Lent says, what's up? He's the drummer for Common Choir. He's in the chat. He says, what's up? And he says, y'all rule.
Thanks,
so,
Tony.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's good people, man. Good people. So what, now you guys are pretty young. What were your folks, or what musically was going on around you when you were younger?
Well, when I was like really young, my dad had like a CD and vinyl collection that he had sitting around, and I would dig through it. And I first started with like Green Day and stuff like that, like
Sure.
a lot of kids my age.
Yeah.
And then, he got sick and stuff, and he wanted to like pass his music on to me. So he showed me like AC/DC, Sabbath, Ozzy, a little bit of Metallica, and like Queen and stuff like that. And then after he passed, my mom got me like an account on this old, I don't even know if it's around, called Rhapsody.
Sure.
And like you could like stream, it was like the OG streaming service.
Sure.
So like I just looked that up, and then there was the recommended, and I found like Slipknot and stuff like that.
Sure.
And then in middle school, I got like hundreds of dollars of iTunes gift cards for my birthday. And
That's the way to start right there,
I
man.
just looked up genres, and I just kept going through recommended artists, and then found a book in the library, had a list of names to check out. And so I found Pantera, Slayer, Anthrax, Cannibal Corpse, Lamb of God, all that kind of thing. And I was like, holy hell.
Yeah.
Like I had been listening to like AC/DC, and like just having this walking in like school after dealing with stuff, I was like, this is what I needed. And then it's been like that
just
since.
a little bit heavier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, so your pops was listening to like old school rock and roll, like
Yeah.
just
Mm-hmm.
which is a great foundation, man, when
Mm-hmm.
you think about it, because it leaves you to want more, especially if you're going through some heavy shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that heavier shit. I bonded with it like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I came from a weird background where it was like R&B, and then my uncle was listening to like radio rock type shit, AC/DC, Leonard Skinner, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, that type of shit. But it was like, being young and going through all kinds of crazy shit. When you're young, you're like, you want the heaviest shit you can find. You know what I mean? How about you? What were you listening to? What were your folks listening to? What was turning you on to tunes?
Oh man, my folks, my parents don't listen to metal at all.
But music. I mean,
Yeah.
anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird about music, man, because it can turn, you know what I mean? Like you hear something that you may not even like, be it church tunes, you know what I'm saying? Like just the most gospel of gospel type of shit. I mean, I had played with a bass player back in the day with the Necroma stuff that his dad was a pastor, you know what I mean? And they played like a lot of folk shit, like Joan Baez and all kinds of weird shit like that, you know? And then it was like, we went straight death metal, you know what I mean? It was like thrash to death metal right away. That was the thing. What were you folks listening to?
Oh, well, I got into metal sort of through Guitar Hero.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and that's how I found like Van Halen and Motley Crue and that kind of stuff. And then just I started listening to that kind of stuff, and then I found Avenged Sevenfold through Guitar Hero as well.
Right.
And then
just another step towards the dark side.
Yeah, and then just more steps, and then in the Avenged Sevenfold, they covered Walk by Pantera.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I found Pantera.
Yeah.
And then I found Pantera, Slayer, and Metallica and all that, and then, you know, just went to Cannibal Corpse and then
deeper and deeper into the heavy shit. Now, do you guys, either you have siblings at all? That do they listen to anything heavy?
Yeah, so I should have mentioned that. My stepbrother, right when I was getting into that, he started checking out Pantera, and then he probably is the one, even though he doesn't listen to it anymore, that got me into death metal, because he's like huge into like Viking culture and stuff like that, because he's like 100% Norwegian.
Yeah.
And he like was like, "Have you ever heard of Amon Amarth?" And like I was like, "What is this?" And it was just like it was my first death metal band probably besides Cannibal Corpse. And then he also showed me Slipknot too, besides when I found it back then, because I kind of that was too much for me at like 9 years old, Slipknot.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Give it another try," and then I loved it.
Yeah.
So
which album did he turn you on to?
Well, I remember, I don't think when I checked them out, All Hope Is Gone was even out yet first. I think it was Volume 3, and then he showed me All Hope Is Gone, like Psychosocial, and I was like, all right, no, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even my daughter, who doesn't, she loves pop shit.
Yeah.
Well, she's starting to dabble now, but that was one that caught her, you know, that repetitive chorus, you know. And it's just, and then we watched the video. She was just like, you know, just totally blown away by that shit, you know. I kind of grew up with them cats back in the day, you know, like before they were really even Slipknot. Our bands had played together, Joey Jordison and Paul Gray, the two deceased members, Mick and Jay, the guitar player, right? The other one, not Mick, but the other one. I think it's Jay.
Jay's the new drummer, I thought, right?
No, I can't. All right, so I'm off a little bit. So I know those two guitar players did play in the bands that we all would go to Des Moines and play with them cats all the time.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of, for me, even seeing those guys back in the day, I was just like, damn, where did these motherfuckers come from? And they were just out of hand. And that was before I even knew that those were the guys that were in that band. You know what I mean? You never fucking saw their faces, you know? But yeah, that was one of those bands that just kind of grabbed me too, man. And it's great to hear you guys like going backwards too, you know what I mean? Like you get pushed towards a certain group or groups, and then going back and like, you know, finding Pantera and Anthrax, and you know what I mean? The guys who really paved the way for the bands that are out there now, you know what I'm saying? What are some of your favorite bands right now? Like ones that you listen to on a daily basis? I mean, it could be, there's no like list to them, just.
Well, right now, for like my genre specifically, he put me onto a band called Crown Magnetar, and they're like really awesome. They're kind of taking the groove thing and adding it into like the straight up blasting that everyone's doing right now, which I really appreciate. And then I'm listening to hype up for their homecoming show, that Reflections from Minnesota, because I want to, you know, support the locals. And then you know, I've been revisiting Pantera, Slipknot a lot again since Joey passed. And then I've been busy the last few weeks, not too much music listening, but I've been getting back into Vital Remains a lot and Morbid Angel and stuff like that. So just old school death metal, and I'm just trying to keep up with my genre's new stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah, that can be a fucking issue in itself, man. Finding new material or new bands, and I find myself doing a lot of what you said. Going to like a Spotify or a Pandora and finding like, all right, here I'm going to open a radio of this band that I like, and the shit that pops up, I'm like, oh fuck, I haven't heard of this. I haven't heard of this.
The related bands.
The related shit. It helps a lot these days, because back in the day, man, with us, we did tape trades and shit like that. And then even beyond that, like covers were a real big thing. Like record labels were a big thing. If there was a band on a record label and you never heard them before, you knew if they were on, Metal Blade or, any of them old school fucking labels, you're like, I gotta check these out. Just because they're on that label, you would assume that they're heavy, But this helps out a lot. Adam D, a good friend of the podcast, always checking in. I said, gentlemen, the song that played before the podcast started, it's great. It's a great start. You guys sound dope. Don't allow anyone to hinder your progress. Keep pushing yourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And Adam is he's working with a band right now, and he's been with Forever and Gray for a while now. Yeah. But he's also a guy who's starting up his own studio and stuff, and I've been kind of pushing him to just as just. You got to keep your chops up. You know what I mean? And if you're not practicing with the band all the time, he's got a studio, so he can just fucking go down and lay some tracks. You know what I mean? Right. And I've been trying to tell him, like, you got to keep working on your stuff because you care about your shit the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be very, very tough to find somebody to be like, come on, man, I fucking love that shit. You got to keep going. You know what I mean? That's one of the things. Oh, Big Jared Dosser, Big Jared.
Oh, yeah.
Jared said, I know you stole those turtle mochas from the Caribou coffee kiosk. You little goth shits. I'm on to you, he said. Mall security. That's what he said.
Paul Blart.
Yeah, right? Yeah, he was giving you guys shit the whole time, calling you guys a bunch of goth kids and shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he's good shit, man. Brother Jer, thanks for joining us for a little while, man. Appreciate it. John Suffering, keep up the great work, guys. John Suffering, if you don't know John has been part of the music scene. He is in, let me see, I just moved those CDs. He is in Solemn Echoes, and he's also in John, tell me some more of your bands. Suffering, God damn it.
Wait, is he Chalice of Suffering?
Yep, Chalice of Suffering.
Yeah, so then I am aware of.
Now John is a guy who's been around for a long time, and he's got a lot of connections as well, and he's definitely a good guy to rub elbows with. John, I'm sorry, John, I'm brain dead. You know me, I'm an old stoner, so I forget shit real easy. But John is a very good guy to get to know. He can help out a lot. With Chalice of Suffering, they said it, John, before I got it. I'm fucking retarded. I apologize for that. Forever Falling as well, one of his bands. Now John was an old promoter around here for a good long time too. He was doing a lot of shows, and he's been around. He said, "You ass." Yes, John, you know me well. I am an ass. Jared Singer says, "Hey, cuties." Yeah. Jared, yeah, right. Jared knows. Jared Singer's Extravaganza. Hey, I want to give Jared a shout out too, man. Congratulations on the 101 episodes now, right? You're up there. He hit 100 last Saturday, and we had a chance to. He invited me on with John Wheeler of Alchemical. I don't remember Alchemical podcast and the Dumpster Fight. Dude, I'm fucking retarded. Shout out to Sweaty Pedals, Joey Moya. That was a fantastic podcast. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, you can look it up on ritualmadnesspodcast.com. I did post it on there, and or you can go to Jared Singer Extravaganza and watch that one. Rum Dumpster, that was it, man. Sorry, John, I'm retarded, so I probably shouldn't say that word either. People will get offended by that, but. So how long have you guys been playing your perspective instruments?
Ooh, I'm about to be at 9 years, I believe.
9 years. So was guitar your very first instrument?
Piano.
Piano?
Yeah.
Now, did you play piano for a little while or what?
That was just my mom wanted me to do it because it was just she knew how to play, so she wanted to teach me. And then I got into trumpet through school, and I picked up guitar during that time. because it was like it really sucked being told what to play.
Yeah.
It really sucked, and then like it's because you have to stick with it for weeks. And then it's just like you're like, this song sucks. Yeah. And like you just have to keep playing it for weeks. And then I picked up guitar, and I remember my teacher, he was a major douche, and somebody told him that I picked up guitar thinking he would like that or something, and was telling him how much I was on. And he was like, so you're practicing guitar more than you're practicing your school instrument? And I straight up was like, yeah. And he was like, so maybe you should stick with that. And then after that year, I was like, yeah, fuck you. I got rid of the trumpet, and then I just got with the guitar and I've been on it since.
Well, here's the thing though, is that in a sideways way, he pushed you towards that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the guy that comes in and kills your entire family, and then you become this fucking maniac madman. You know what I mean? And he just comes back and goes, "Well, you owe it all to me because I killed everybody around you." You know what I mean? That type of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, he kind of helped you forward with that. So
yeah.
That was so fucking bad. Well, you know what I mean. So how did you get? Is drums your first instrument? Damn.
Yeah. Drums was my first instrument. I'm also like 9 years about playing the drums, and then I started when I was like 11 or 12, I think, and then I used to put pillows on a couch, and I had a pair of drumsticks, and I just would play songs, to the pillows.
Yeah.
And then,
you played along with songs to the pillows?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, yeah. So you were kind of like, you started picking things out. So you knew when to hit the cymbals and when to fucking do the fucking floor toms and shit. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. Shit.
Yeah, and then my parents always brought me to Guitar Center. I was one of those little kids at Guitar Center just playing the drums, just being really annoying. I mean, I was annoying at least, but and then I just got better and better at it, and then I just bought my own drum set and then had it at my house and annoyed my parents with it because drums are really loud.
Yeah, for sure. Did they push you towards it? Did they turn that shit off? The type of shit, stop fucking around with it?
No, they were very supportive.
That's huge, man. That's huge.
Yeah, they never were like you gotta sell your drums or you gotta stop playing drums. But they were just always supportive.
Now, when it came to school and everything like that, now was it something? Were you always wanting to play, or were you able to like separate? Like, did they say you can't pick up your instrument until you get your shit done?
I played percussion in band, so
right on.
It was just
you just added to it. Yeah. You were picking it up at school too. Yeah. So did you just start on like a snare or some shit or what?
Oh yeah, the snare, the toms, the bass drum. Yep, the marching beats. Yep. And and then around high school, like 10th grade or something, we started playing stuff with drum kit, and then everyone was always like, oh, just give Steven the drum kit. Sheet music because like I was like the best drummer there. Well, like everyone else didn't really care about playing drums; they were just there for band class. But like I was like the drummer.
Move out of my way! Give me them shits right now! I'm gonna fuck this shit up. Yeah. How about you? When it came, now you said you were playing trumpet at the time.
Yeah, so like she was like, as long as that gets done, you know what I mean. And I still practiced, and I practiced every day in class. So it wasn't really that big of a deal, and I would literally just do my homework in class so I could go home and practice and stuff like that. And it was to the point in like senior year where I didn't really have to do anything. I have notebooks like with ideas that eventually became like Opus Dei and stuff like that from like senior year 2 years later. And like I was just straight up like in mythology class, easy class that I failed because I was just writing riffs by like hand.
Right. Now you guys can both read music. You guys can both function that way.
It's been a minute, but probably yes.
Yeah. Now, what was the song that we opened with? The one
Opus Dei. The one.
Opus Dei.
Yes, the original riff that was written by me senior year, and I sat on it for 2 years. Yeah.
Just that one riff.
The intro riff. Yeah.
Right on, man. Right on. And so how did you how long has this specific disc been out?
Wasn't that April now? Yeah.
No, March.
March
of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, cool. So this is fairly new. If
Pretty
you guys can see that, and it is available on iTunes as well.
Yeah, everywhere pretty much.
Destined to Rot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go check these guys out. Defiled Sacrament, Destined to Rot. It is on, and I think the single that you gave me as well, the Stains of Society.
Yeah.
That's the one we'll play at the end, but that is also just a single drop, right?
Yeah, it's on the album. We remixed it, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Now with this thing, we were talking before we went on air. You guys recorded, like wrote and recorded all of this stuff yourself too.
Yeah,
right?
everything on there that we did all that. Yeah.
Nice. Now, who's got the recording equipment? Like, who did all this stuff?
I do guitar and vocals and bass. I did studio bass, and so I just have the plug-in and then headphones, and then I have a really outdated version of Sonar Reaper that I've mastered because I've just had it for free for years.
Yeah.
And I mixed it all myself, and then he does his drums with his stuff that we got. And then he sends the files over to me, and I just made it sound the best I could.
Yeah,
Right
I remember the day I went into Guitar Center and dropped $1,100 on drum recording equipment.
Well, that's the thing, though, man. You know what I mean? This is where you tell the motherfuckers watching this shit, like being young cats, it takes that sacrifice. You know what I mean? Because you're diving into a genre that doesn't necessarily make a shit ton of money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is a business of a labor of love, basically, is what it is. Because this type of music is, I mean, it's starting to grow. It's been on that cusp. You know, I mean, bands like Slipknot and Slayer, they're starting to get Grammys and shit like that. But getting out there and working on your craft, and this is something that I said on Jared Singer's podcast last week, is that when it came to like honing your shit, man, I got caught up, being 21, getting into the bar scene. Like I started drinking, like, okay, yeah, we're partying, woo, set up the show. You get into that repetition of going out and partying and shit, where I thought about that as being a vocalist, man. I should have been focusing on my craft, and being young dudes dropping $1,100. That's not fucking easy to do. That's a lot of time to work and get that cheddar together. You know what I mean? So that's a commitment, man. And that's makes a huge statement on how devoted you are to your craft.
Yeah, I mean, I love music, man. It's my life.
Yeah.
Same here.
And that's a good thing. Don't ever let any broads or fucking other dudes tell you. Here's the thing: is like you guys were already playing in bands. You know what I mean? And like knowing each other. The hardest thing is, man, is to realize that you're gonna have disagreements, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the best thing for the band is just to keep it going and find. If somebody flakes out, because that happens a lot too. People say music is life, and then they go, "Oh, I got a girlfriend. She's my life now, and music is second," that type of shit. Or they, you know what I mean? They get caught up. And there's nothing wrong with going to school and like getting your education and shit like that. But a lot of people will put things aside, and then they'll get their degree, and then they'll come back and they'll start some shit later on in life. If you can stay the course with the cats that you're with, man, and build that camaraderie and build that music, it's gonna be that much better, that much tighter, that much heavier. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You guys are writing and recording your own shit right now. This is leaps and bounds of what we were capable of as kids back in the day. We had like little cassette fucking 4 tracks and 8 tracks that we had, not this digital shit. No Reaper for free. You know what I'm saying? Reaper's a fucking lifesaver, man. I mean, Will Maravellis from Coffin Rot in Plague of Stars, he was the dude who told me about Reaper. I'm like, dude, I need a fucking something I can edit my stuff with without having restrictions, because I had some cheap thing that I got with one of my Zoom recorders. So. Yeah. But so let me see here. I'll get to a question, because Adam D did ask a question here. He said, "Gentlemen, what gear are you guys rocking? What guitar? What amp? What kind of drums, cymbals, pedals, etc., etc.?"
So for me, I kind of went with what I saw my heroes doing. Everybody had a 6505, so for now I'm on the 6505 wave, and then I got a 2x12 orange cab, and then right now I'm with a Schecter Damien 7, and then pedals. I only use pedals at shows. Personally, that's some people might get upset about that, but I just go straight amp at practice, because I don't feel like setting up my pedal board sometimes. Yeah, not right now, because my cords are all. Oh. Yeah, I have a broken cord in my chain, and I'm just kind of lazy right now. So I don't want to figure out which one it is, and I'm saving money. Yeah. So, Yeah,
well, you know, a lot of those fuckers are lifelong too, man.
Yeah.
You take them back and go, hey, I think this one is broken. You know what I mean? They plug them in and they figure it out for you.
Yeah.
One of these is fucked up, and I know that it's warranted. So why don't you figure it out and give me a new one? You know?
Yeah. And then I just got a tube screamer pedal, the 808, and then I got the noise reduction pedal. And that's pretty much it for now. I'm going to expand a little bit for the shows what we do with this next release, but for now, that's what I got.
What'd you start on? What'd you start playing on?
One of those Spider 4 amps that everybody makes fun of.
Line 6?
A Line 6 Spider, yeah. I gave it to our rhythm guitarist when he started playing, and then when he moved, I went and plugged it in for old time's sake, and it sounds like a fart. The memes are accurate. It sounds like it. Yep, yeah. It sounds straight up like a fart.
Dude, 6505 represent. That's what he said. Yeah. Nice. Dude, that guitar you got is fucking sexy ass guitar, man.
Those bat inlays I love those bat inlays.
Yeah, that's dope. What are you jamming on?
Oh, well, I got how many pieces is it? I think it's a 6-piece Tama kit. And I got Sabian and Zildjian cymbals. My 2 crashes are Sabian and my ride is Sabian. So is my hi-hat. I guess my only Zildjian cymbal is my China.
Right.
But yeah, and then I got a oh yeah. Oh, also my I have a Zill bell. It's like 9.5 inches. It's like, it looks like a metal bowl.
Yeah. It's got that funky ting to it though.
Oh yeah, just ting.
Yeah.
Rings for hours.
Yeah.
The
I
bell
love
of
that
death.
shit, man. Yeah.
Yeah, the bell. I love it. And then
Well, you know, when you're hitting your ride, you're tick, 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 tick,
Yep.
you know, and you want to hit that extra ping, ping, ping.
oh
that
yeah,
fucking shit sounds
I love
awesome.
It. I love it. Just in the middle of a field too. It's just like, ting.
Yeah. Dinner bell. That shit's done. We just cut this corpse in half for you. Come get some of this shit. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome, man. What did you start playing on? What was your kit? What kind of kit did you have?
Oh man, I think I had a D drum kit, and then I think I had to sell it because I was like broke, and then like a few months later I had to buy a new kit, and that's when I bought my kit that I have now. I bought it used for $160.
Damn.
Yep.
The one you have right now?
Yep.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Who the hell did you rough up to get that deal, man?
It was sitting at Guitar Center.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's all scratched up if you look closely, but yeah, that's just the toms and the kick, and no, yeah, that is the toms and the kick, and I had the snare bought separately.
Nice.
My dad actually gifted me the snare that I play right now, so yeah.
Very cool. Is he a musician? Did he play?
No, he is a musician, but he's not into metal and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What kind of stuff does he play? Does he play drums?
No, he plays the accordion.
There you go.
Yeah, and my family's Mexican.
Yeah.
So yeah, he really loves Mexican like mariachi music and
yeah.
stuff. And so yeah, he has an accordion, and
I know people when they say like obscure, you know, shit that isn't metal, you know, they automatically ready for that. Oh man, what the fuck, you know? But the journey of music, man, you know what I mean? And being young guys, you understand that journey because you got addicted to it early. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And being able to like want to be a part of that and your heritage too, you know what I mean? Because I'm Hispanic as well. And I know when I'm around it, you know, I don't know Spanish, but I when I'm around that type of music, I just feel it. You know what I'm saying? So I know, you know, my grandparents were into polka, so I was around that accordion shit anyways. It's basically it's just white people polka.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like mariachi's like, you know, they got a little spice to it. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's the Hispanic polka.
yeah. And my dad bought me the snare drum because, like, you know, I was playing the pillows and stuff like that, and and he bought me a snare drum because, like, he wanted me to start playing drums, like playing real drums, you know, not just playing the pillows and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, that's where everything started.
Man, you know he was fucking happy as shit when you started getting into music, whether it be heavy or not. You know what I mean? Somebody who's on that journey is like something that you want to pass forward, whether you can or not, or articulate it to a child or not. Like when I know when my daughter started finding heavier bands, you know what I mean? I was just like, oh shit, you know. I go, here, honey, check this out, and she'd be like, no, I'm just gonna find it on my own, you know, that type of shit. And she did. She really did. She was like, you know, I mean, it's not heavy by by any means, but Nirvana and what is it, Falling in Reverse. She's been finding that shit, and like from Slipknot, and there's a couple other things where she, what I mean, it's not heavy by any means, but it's heavier than fucking Justin Bieber in one direction. You know what I'm saying? But for me, she found some Motley Crue, some Shout at the Devil, like with the last couple weeks, and not only like one song, she had like 5 or 6 tunes, and then she's like, we go for a ride in the car, and she's playing all this shit that I grew up on, and I'm just kind of like, hey, and she's like, you got a cool daughter, it's cool, you can admit it and shit, you know what I mean? But inside my head, without me going, fucking right I do, you know what I mean? Because that's just cool, man. And a kid finding that itch early is fucking huge, man. It's really cool. Very cool, man. I'm proud of you guys, man. Right on, man. And carrying on this heavy shit, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are going to be into this shit for a while, man. Like, what are some of the bands that you guys like really, really dig, man? What are the ones that really, really push you to do the stuff you're doing?
Well, for this specific genre,
it doesn't even have to be that.
Oh, I'm just
you can go all over, man. Honestly, I'm into everything, dude.
Well, to start, because they dropped their very anticipated EP today, Lorna Shore, and they're the only band so far I've been able to commit to tattooing on myself.
Nice.
And their Flesh Coffin EP, when I heard it my senior year, that actually did change my life, and you can't really say that about too much. I was like, what? Because like, I listened to metalcore and stuff back then a little bit, but I was still into the old school stuff. But I could hear that they had been listening to like Cradle of Filth and even like Fear Factory if you listen close enough. Right. And it's just, they had so much. It was black and deathcore with like melodic vibes, but you could hear like it would suddenly there'd be like slam in there and stuff, and I was like, all right. And so, and then that's the most recent one, but I think, really like when I was just kind of casually listening to metal, finding Pantera and hearing their story, just like how like they were just really just regular dudes, and like how they were just nice to everybody till the very end, at least most of them. And
well, saying that the two brothers were regular is a little far fetched, because those dudes were absolute fucking beasts from the beginning.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's like those two locking in. Mm-hmm. You could have thrown any other motherfuckers in with them two guys, because they were just heavy as balls from the very beginning. I mean, they were playing fucking hair metal for fuck's sake. But the way they switched that around and like took the pieces of the bands that are around them. You hear a lot of Ex-Hoarder in that band as well. And there were rumors that Phil was going to sing for Ex-Hoarder back in the day too. So it's just kind of a trip.
Yeah, but no, it's like it's just the same thing. They were both in band apparently, like band class and stuff, reading Rex's book when he talked about their childhoods and stuff like that, and it really like stuck with me, like how it was just kind of similar even though it's different sides of the country and stuff like that, and how like, especially considering the fact, even though I don't really want to ever be famous because of this, like they just played what they wanted to play, and they were like, sometimes they were bluesy, sometimes they were heavy as balls, and then Far Beyond Driven was a #1 on the Billboard,
right? And
that's like still to this day like the only like extreme metal album to like be #1 on the Billboard for that long, right. And it's just like crazy that they just did that, and they were literally just, and what I meant by regular guys, it's like they aren't like with like other bands at the time, like Motley Crue, they had like their outfits and stuff, and like these guys went on like how we are right now,
right?
Yeah, and it's just played to 10,000 people when people think you got to have like a whole stage production and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, they came from that old school, man. That old thrash stuff, that old style was very DIY. You know what I mean? There was no money in it back then. They kept going during all, through the grunge, through the hair bands. They were coming from the hair bands into the heavy shit, and then grunge hit and just decimated all of that shit. And they were a heavy band playing through all of that. Thrash went away. Death metal was there, but it was like, undertones of all that shit. You know what I mean? There was no real popularity to death metal at that particular time. You know what I mean? I mean, there were, Cannibal Corpse and Deicide and Morbid Angel and Pestilence and fucking, Gorguts and, Bolt Thrower and, Unleashed back then, and fucking, there's so many, Carcass, Entombed, all of those bands. And this is why I say I really like that you guys have gone back to kind of take from, you know what I mean? You get some of that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole slam thing, that all comes from, using all of those bands that we
Yeah.
talked about and pulling pieces out that really, you know, you hear bands like Misery Index. I listen to that band and I think, holy fuck, I mean, Suicide Silence. I mean, fucking,
Yeah.
I hear, what the fuck is the name of that band? They're touring now. Carnifex. That's a band.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's a band.
Carnifex.
When I saw them with fucking Crowbar, and I was just like, what are these dudes doing with Crowbar? You know what I mean? And seeing the singer, you know, with the old school death metal shirt on, I was like, I heard so much metalcore in there, but I also heard so much old death metal. I'm going, yeah, these dudes are going to do really fucking well, you know? I dig the fact that you guys dabble into that and you pull from those genres, man, all over the place. That's
Yeah,
good shit.
like I really respect the bands that do that, and that's what got me into it. Like specifically, like Misery Index. Like I remember that one album when they did the press release for it, where they're like, "We want this to sound like it was recorded at Morris Sound Studios in the early '90s."
Right.
And like I was like, "All right, I can respect that." And like we all listen to it, but they kind of like Chase is always poking fun at me that I'm like the old school death metal guy, and I'm gonna we're gonna sound like we were at Morris Sound in the '90s and stuff like that. Because like I always like Morbid Angel and stuff like that's what I'm always playing when he's listening to like newer stuff. I like to throw some like Morbid Angel and like Carcass and Bolt Thrower in there and stuff like that. And that's it's just I love hearing that combined. You know what I mean? And that's what I kind of want to eventually get at.
Yeah, you know, you add some newer flavor to it. Like Skeletal Remains is a band that I just recently saw. Unmerciful was a band that I just recently saw that do that. They take a lot of, you know, they have a lot of that slam, a lot of that new school metal to it, the heavy shit to it, but they do have their roots. I mean, Skeletal Remains sounded to me like an old school 90s death metal band.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I was like, holy fuck, these guys are amazing. You know?
They just got off tour. They were like the first big show back in California for metal, like official show, and they had this band open for them called Zabalba. We talked about that at the Music Cafe.
Right.
The day before that show, they played this DIY show at this abandoned paintball place up the street from the Music Cafe.
Right.
And like that was probably like even though like I only knew Zabalba a little bit and then the rest were like locals, I was like, that's probably one of the best shows I've been to in like the last 3 years, because it was all like metalcore, hardcore bands opening, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. But like they got on, they turned the lights off in the place, and it's like it's split down the middle. It's halfway into becoming a gym, and then halfway a old paintball place with still greased up AstroTurfs. People are eating shit all day and night in the pit, and like. So they get on stage, and like some of them are wearing hardcore, someone's wearing old school death metal, and like it's weird because it's like they start with like beat down and hardcore, and then all of a sudden it's just like the Ring, and then they're just blast beating. They're playing like, and this isn't like the stuff you hear now. This is like the single note like Cannibal Corpse-y, like Butch Eaten Back to Life type of riffs and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is like, and everyone's like, these are like hardcore kids and like metalcore kids just eating like that video I posted of the giant circle pit.
Yeah.
That was like, that was just awesome. Like everybody was there like expecting
that shit
like,
was
metalcore.
banging, dude. When I saw that video, I was like, God damn, where the fuck is this at, man? Why ain't that this motherfucker? Because that was old school as shit, man.
Yeah,
that was
no, like,
wide open, just churning, dude.
Yeah, and it's just, I want to do some stuff like that now. Like we've done like random outside shows and stuff like that, but I just want to find like a, like it's not, when I call it was abandoned, but it's like, it's just that whole, like, it was like an abandoned building kind of vibe, and it was like, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
To see that. It's just, I'm going to remember that show for a while, especially for a lot of people. That was the first big show.
Have you heard Gate Creeper yet?
Yeah.
Those dudes are fucking
It's
mean
similar
as
vibe. I'm
balls, dude.
Depending on how things go, Gate Creeper is going to be at Knotfest, hopefully, if permitting.
In Iowa.
Yeah, and I'm going to go check them out for the first time.
I had a couple people going down there to see that shit.
But yeah, no, I just got that apartment we were talking about, and it's right by Cheapo, and that Cheapo I go to all the time, and I remember checking out their stuff and seeing Gate Creeper in there and being like, you know what, I heard a lot about him, I'll give him a chance. It was their second to last album, and it was like, wow, this is like a style that a lot of people probably haven't heard in a really long time.
Have you guys heard of Deterioration yet from Minneapolis?
Yeah, no, the grind band.
They're fucking brutal, dude. I just saw them in South Dakota for the first time. They've been around forever. Oh, yeah. And I never heard them. I know, but people that I know played in the fucking band, and I'm like, these guys are fucking amazing. And there's people online going, dude, are you retarded? Like, is this the first time you've ever heard of these guys? I was like, fuck, these guys are awesome, man. And then I went to go see them at Rostamos over in Crystal.
Yep.
Dude, they tore that place up, man. Two guys, you know, two brothers just tearing it up. I can't say enough good things about those guys. That's a band I'd like to see you guys play with, man. You know what I mean?
Deterioration?
Yeah, just because, you know, mix it up, man. You know, those dudes are fucking heavy as balls, man.
You know, if they're down, we're down.
Oh yeah, I can make that happen, dude. Jim's a good dude. Let me see here. What do we got? Oh, Crystal, what's happening? How you doing, Crystal? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks you for joining us. Brady Goebel actually entered the chat as well.
Charlie Horse.
You whack yourself?
No, Charlie Horse.
Oh
on the
shit.
back of my knee.
Sorry about that.
No,
buddy.
I'm good.
All right, let me see here, gentlemen. I mean, no disrespect. Being so young, how do your friends feel about playing this type of music? Were they supportive? Do they push back? What was their feedback?
Well, for me, when I originally got into it, I just had my family telling me go for it. You know, we loved this stuff growing up. And then when I got to middle school, like there was like maybe 2 other metalheads there. And like they were like, this was like the what I would call like the where it was like kind of like a meme or a joke to be like a metal elitist. So like I was still like on the like the light stuff, and they were listening to like Iron Reagan and stuff. Like, I mean, it's not like they were listening to heavier stuff, but they were like more underground.
Yeah.
And so they were like, yeah, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
So like they didn't want anything to do with me, and so I was like, all right, I'll just do my own thing. And then it was kind of so. From there, people thought it was weird. You know, my mom still had me going to church at the time and stuff like that. So like, I remember people coming up to me there specifically and being like, somebody straight up came up to me once and was like, "What do you think you're doing here with that shirt on?" And it was like a Slayer shirt or something like that. And I'm like, "I'm just here like you are." And they're like, "No, you know what I'm talking about. Don't play stupid." And then in high school, you know, I got more stuff. I got more shit then too. But like that, I can't even remember it as much as middle school, because middle school, that was when I was like, ouch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like then I was like,
well, you're trying to identify. You're trying to find your shit.
But high school, that's when I got the metal vibe, and I was like, the people that play this music would not want me to care what people think about it and stuff like that. So like most of the time I would just be like, you know, it's what I listen to. It's like, and I was like, you enjoy your thing. They're like, but it's not the same thing at all. And then thankfully, because the era I was in, that's when like the rappers and stuff like that, like that X dude, they started like having like metal influenced rap. Like that dude straight up sampled "Spit It Out" by Slipknot and stuff like that.
My daughter just played that the other day, and I'm like, have you heard this real song? And
yeah,
like,
no. And then like, it's just like these people hadn't like heard this stuff before, like in by high school, and then then you'd start seeing kids walking. Like I just remember like I was trying to like check this kid. He had a Guar shirt on, and I was like, name 3 Guar songs, and he like dropped it right there, and he was like, I just discovered them though, and I was like, you know what, that's cool. And like I mean, I don't do that kind of thing anymore, but I was like, if people are gonna give me shit, if they're gonna wear one of my shirts,
you should
like,
though.
If they're gonna give me shit, then I'm gonna ask you if you actually know who that is. You know what I mean?
You should though.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of motherfuckers in the you know in the popular culture, right? That try to it's like you know. Now this is going to seem extreme because you know what I mean. It's like white kids taking on other cultures. You know what I mean? Like
I get what you're
wanting
saying.
to become. You know what I mean? Like you're adapting that culture. You know what I mean? When you don't really know, you're going to wear a metal shirt because you know. Name a fucking popular person out there on you know TMZ or some dumb shit wearing a Slipknot or a Slayer shirt just because Metallica for that fucking matter. You know what I mean? I honestly think you should check motherfuckers, because if they don't look like it, like you know the band and you're like, hey man, what's your favorite Guar album? You know what I mean? Like if they can't give you an answer, you're like, oh, okay, cool, man, have a good day. Like,
no, I wasn't a dick about it.
Posy motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think Kendall Jenner knows a single Slayer song.
Right, that's what I'm saying, man.
I saw that article today too, that Slayer shirt's like hot selling now because she wore it, and I'm like, how many people actually? Like,
which one was it? What was the?
I think it was a Show No Mercy shirt.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, they definitely don't know. I was like, they don't know Show No Mercy for sure.
Fuck no.
No, but it's like if it. In the end, it's like, yes, there's probably people posing, but also at the same time, you got to admit, like, there's like that kind of celebrity. They got like their like hardcore Twitter fan followers that like follow every single thing they do. And
militant motherfuckers.
They're like, all right, so she's wearing this shirt, let's look it up, and then maybe one or two of them is gonna like be like, okay, this is pretty dope.
Does she really like this? Because this is awesome. You know what I mean? That type of shit. You know? Yeah, for sure. Now, what are some of the bands that, like you're really into? What are ones you listen to on the regular? It don't matter.
On
like
the regular.
Yeah.
I love. I mean, I really love listening to the bands that I got into metal with, like Pantera and Slayer, like even early Metallica, and I really love listening to them.
I like how you said early Metallica. That's good shit. How early are we talking now? Like
and Justice for All.
There you go.
And before.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that shit, man. And I also really love the newer stuff that's coming out. Like this band Distant just put out an album called Aeons of Oblivion. I love that album.
Cool.
And yeah, and I love early Slaughter to Prevail. When I first heard their EP, Chapters of Misery EP, that really helped push me to play more like extreme fucking drums like I'm doing right now in Defiled Sacrament. And like before that, I was probably the most extreme thing I played was like Slayer and stuff like that.
Sure. And, but I mean, you know, fucking Lombardo being a drummer, that dude's a swingy motherfucker, man. His beats are grooving, you know what I mean? Like even the stuff that he did with, you know, playing with Suicidal Tendencies, and you know what I mean, he's bounced around quite a bit, but Dave Lombardo's no motherfucking slouch. That's a bad, and Bostov too, you know what I mean? Them dudes are fucking badass. They come from, you know, the lineage, man, you know what I mean? The dude, the other cat, he played for Forbidden for a while too, you know what I mean? So it's like you can't go wrong with any of that shit.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love Dave Lombardo. He's one of the drummers that really helped push me to, you know, this type of music too. Yeah. And like, you know, I just remember playing War Ensemble and, you know, stuff like that on the drums, and just like afterwards I'm like, oh my god, this is so hard to play. Yeah. How do you play a whole concert of this?
Right.
You know?
Right. And they make it look easy as fuck too, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But I mean, you're blasting now. You're doing shit like that. I mean, who are some of your influences as far as like the heavier blast stuff?
Oh, well, like I was saying, the drummer for Slaughter to Prevail, their first drummer, Anton Padiaki on Chapters of Misery EP, and he was probably the first drummer where I was like, wow, this is just straight blasting and just crazy stuff. I want to play just like this, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like just crazy, just stuff, like blistering drums. Yep. And I mean, I'm not saying like Dave Lombardo isn't like that, but like he's just like kind of sticking to the thrash kind of beats. Yep. But like Anton Padiaki, he was just like, and Mark Mironov of Betraying the Martyrs. Right. Both of those drummers really like kind of pushed me. And I can't forget Aaron Kitcher, Infinite Annihilator. Like all of them are just like blistering drums.
But you know what I mean? Even from starting from the earlier stuff that you're talking about, you know, Lombardo and the early Metallica shit and all that, those thrash beats are slowly moving you towards that way anyway. You know what I mean? Your chops you're still going fast, but it's just not, you know, learning how to fucking, you know, to blast. You know what I mean? Like once you start picking that up, those chops, they build you to that fucking shit, you know what I mean? Oh yeah. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you're do that. You know what I mean? Just fucking flying.
Oh yeah, there's no way I could have jumped into what I'm doing now.
Right,
you know?
Right? Yeah, fuck yeah. Well, that's good, man. That's killer. I like the progression, man, from both of you guys, man. You know, that's promising for an old dude like me, because I like seeing that shit, man. You know, there's so many people these days, man. They don't go that direction. You know, I mean, even when I was a kid, dude, there was a handful of us. You know what I mean? And it was like you'd see a dude in the mall, you know, walking around, and they'd have a Slayer shirt on, and you're fucking screaming that down the hall. It's like, just like, you know Slayer. What I mean? Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, man.
You know,
I've pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah,
not doing that,
yeah, dude. Oh yeah. I mean, Pantera too was the same thing. I saw Pantera when they came around on their first tour with Cowboys from Hell, and in First Avenue, and there was like 3 people pitting to that shit, and I was one of those 3. I've got a piece out of Phil Anselmo's Rolodex that has him and Dimebag Darrell signatures on it. Ooh. I still have that to this day. So that's that. And I've met Phil a bunch of times. I've hung out with him in Rex and fucking with Down. So it's like, You know, I mean, I've been around, dude. You know what I mean? So I totally
awesome.
appreciate all of that
that's
shit because it's like focal points that you guys have both said. You know, it wasn't like a lot of times people will come on here and Metallica's a very, you know, like Green Day's actually one too. That bands that people say, oh yeah, this is something that it was a little bit heavier than what I was listening to at home. It was just kind of dipping my feet into this pop shit, the pop punk rock shit, or Metallica or Motley Crue. Those are like mainstay things, but Pantera is a focal point from both of you guys, which I think is really cool because it grabs from so many different things. Yeah, there you go. He's got the Cowboys from Hell tattooed on his arm, man. Hell yeah, dude. I really dig that. I appreciate that old school shit, man. So how did you guys come up with the name Defiled Sacrament? Are you guys Satanists?
No, and that's the one question that as much as he wanted to be here, he's on vacation right now. Chase came up with that. He literally just pulled. We were saying stuff back and forth, and it was like, nah, that's corny. Now we were on the metal archives, making sure it wasn't taken yet.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't in the band yet.
Yeah. And like Chase literally was just like, how about Defiled Sacrament? And I just looked at Donnie and I was like, That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, but like we were all just like, it can be changed. It can be changed. And then we got the logo sent back that's on there. And I was just like, that's symmetrical. Perfect.
Who did this artwork for you guys?
The artwork is Hans Trossid. I looked that up when I saw that in the chat. It's very dope. I can't 100% remember if he said that was by hand or digital, but either way it was, done like.
I think it was by hand.
Yeah. It's a paint. It was drawn and then filled in old school style.
Sure. And then you just added the logo to it.
Oh yeah, he did that. Yeah.
He did the logo
He
too.
color graded it and all that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, badass, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a very good artist.
Yeah, he was. Adam was asking that as well, and he said, "Slaughter to Prevail, Demolisher." The kicks in that song are. Did he say Alien?
Yeah.
I need some fucking glasses, man. That's all the old ass dude. So I appreciate everybody joining us on the chat. We appreciate it, man. We're just chilling, talking metal, and it's fucking feels good. It feels good to have young cats raw and talented as these guys are because you're the fucking future, man. You guys got to remember that, man. When you're like, I don't like your fucking idea, it sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Do you guys have any of that kind of tension in your?
Honestly, not like of that kind. There's like little spouts here and there, but it's nothing like that because we're all kind of on the same page. Like,
yeah, I mean, and we're not even that. Like, we're all like really compromising too, and like, we just kind of like come to like an agreement, like a center kind of point that we both like that we all like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like. So far, him and I, like, Alex is getting up there. Like, him and I, like, I'm not going to say I taught him to play guitar, but I stole him his first amp and guitar, and, like, he hadn't yet. And I showed him a few things here and there, and then I was like, just do self-taught. That's what I did. Just do that. Go find tabs. Look up your favorite songs. And that's what he did. And then I got him in, and he's starting the whole songwriting thing. That's the next step for him.
Yeah.
But him and I are kind of the main songwriters right now.
Yeah.
So, like, we kind of just, like, and I remember when I was, like, just, because he plays guitar too, I was just like, do a track for us, and then I was like, that's literally something I would do. Right. So it's like for him and I, there's no problem.
Man, and that's a huge thing, man. Mm-hmm. When you guys when you know what the cats that you are playing with, like, because if you write a whole song yourself, you know what I mean, and you know what he would be playing, you know what I mean, that's like half the fucking process right there. Like I was thinking you would play something like this, and if he's like, fuck yeah, that sounds badass, then you know that's gonna help
like,
a lot.
In both our cases, like when I send him stuff, like I'll do like really shitty scratch drum tracks, and I'm like, that's just like how I envision it. Just do whatever you want, you know what I mean? And then when he's like he does the guitar tracks and the drum tracks under it, he's like I really like the stuff he writes, so I just only like add like my little pinchies and stuff like that, interchange a one note or something.
Sure.
And we're pretty. Him and I are pretty in sync. Like the stuff, like the demos we've been tossing around for new stuff. It's like the other day he was like, you really do like listen to stuff I write and stuff like that, because it's like him and I. It's like this new stuff. It's like we're really like meshing together more. It's like
you're really like scissoring like lesbians.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He just sends over the guitar tracks and then I lay down the drums.
Yeah.
Dude, you were really into. He's like, oh yeah, man. We get down like that. Yeah. That's the way to do it, man. You know, when you're comfortable, man. I've jammed with guys like that before who you know what I mean. Like they've written riffs by how they felt my vocals were going to go over them too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that just helps so much more. Like, you know, being able to give other people direction. You know what I mean? Or having, constructive criticism between each other too. Like, hey, I was thinking maybe we could do it this way. And then even sending shit back and forth, like, hey, I changed this a little bit. What do you think about that? Nah, I'm not really into that. Send it back, a little different. Dude, to have an open mind and continue to have that open mind is fucking is key.
It's even Chase throws his little bits in there. It's hard because he doesn't play instruments. So he literally
he kind of just makes noise.
He
noises.
I wish I could go find them. I have old videos of my old phone where I would be like stoned at 3 a.m. laughing with my friends because we'd be like, dude, I just got a sick ass idea. Check this out. And then he would send a voice memo of him going like beatboxing me like, and I would just be like laughing for like an hour and then I'd go record it.
We should dig. We should go dig through the band chat and try to find his voice memos of just, dude, it would be super cool if we wrote a song and it went just like,
yeah, but being a vocalist myself, that is a huge thing when you have musicians with you that are willing to, because you do speak that language. You know what I'm saying? You know what he's saying. Even as funny as it, you know what I mean? Like you speak that shit.
Oh yeah.
Because when you're in the middle of, hey, wait, no, back up a second, and you come back in and they stop and go, wait, what if we go, don't, you know what I mean? You're going, oh yeah, okay, right here, and you're going, fuck yeah, I feel that. That's a language in itself, man.
Music is a language.
Yeah, man.
Specifically in Stains of Society live, there's parts that like for him, he was like, I need more of like a break. And so he's like, what do we do? And then Chase will be like, I got this. So he'll like take a fill and he'll literally just like spell it out somehow with his voice.
Yeah.
And then like we'll eventually figure it out. And it's just either to help himself with a break or just an idea that he had. And it's just, there's entire like fills or parts where it's just like something he like made with his voice and then him or I just like made it happen.
You guys got to keep that together, dude, for real. I mean, being young and being in this shit and just starting, man, you got to keep that together because it is really what sets people apart, man, when it comes to bands, because you see it already. There's so many bands here, so many talented motherfuckers, but at the same time, dude, people will argue over the dumbest shit and try to, like, one guy will come in and go, this is how shit goes, this is my band, that type of shit. You keep it, democratic and keep everybody like speaking that language with each other, and keeping that being able to be humble with it, you know what I mean? Man, you're playing these shows and you're doing some Leo Percent stuff, which is, which can make or break you, man. If you, a lot of people shit on Bobby for a lot of things that he does, but he does give people opportunities. I mean, there are clubs right now that are buying up a lot of stuff that Bobby would normally buy up, and they're not putting any locals on it. So, this is where the merit comes into it. And that we were talking about this, before the podcast, is that, doing the work and getting your material, getting your merchandise down, having multiple different styles for, maybe just one shirt with the logo on it, one shirt with the album cover on it, having multiple things coming and interchanging, when you sell out, one with just the logo, go to a different color logo, you know what I mean? Always trying to like make things fresh, but never, because if you're dropping $1,100 to get the recording shit, you're not going to have money to pitch in for the t-shirts and shit.
Yeah.
That's why you got to have that fucking money put aside for, studio rent and for, what I mean? So that's why I was saying, with booking shows, and it's great to jump on shows with other people, but when you book them and pick the bands that you want to be, put on there, or you've got guys that are coming from out of state, and this is a lot of, there's a few bands in town that do this shit, man, where they'll play once or twice a month in town, and then they're trying to get out, Duluth. They'll go to fucking, Mankato. They'll go to, you know what I mean? They'll go down to Iowa. They'll go to Wisconsin, into Madison and Milwaukee, and you know what I mean? All these places, like, when you go out that way, man, and if you need help finding any of them things, dude, we got connections all over the fucking place. It's something that you have to, really, if you want to do this, you got to be comfortable being in that van. You got to be comfortable moving outside of your shit, because every single night you can play in front of all these people that but getting out there and spreading it to everybody else, man, and being young, dude, you guys don't have a lot of obligations right now. I mean, Chase just bought a place, right?
Yeah, and I just signed the lease for mine today.
Right, and having jobs is fantastic, but having the security of those jobs to say, hey, listen, I'm a musician first. Like, I need to let you guys know there might be times when I need a week off. You know what I mean? Like I need to go out here and I need to handle my business and come back. And, I've had guys on the podcast that are like, you can't be a weekend warrior and be considered a real musician, which is bullshit. You know what I mean? You have to set it up for your schedule. You don't want to fucking go out on a week thing if your job ain't cool with it. You don't want to lose your shit because you just signed a lease, because Chase just bought a place. You know what I mean? Because you got bills to pay. You want to have that shit. But at the same time, man, there's nothing wrong with going out on the weekend and, leaving on a Thursday or a Friday afternoon, playing that show, hitting another show on the way back. You get home, you got your legs out you, and you're going to build those relationships with all those other bands.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, when you start booking your shit, right? And I've told this, we talked about this before we got going, like those first and second slots, like taking this album and finding the best tracks on this motherfucker and having a half hour's worth of solid boot your fucking face in material to open and close, and taking them songs and flipping them and putting the one in the end in the beginning. You know what I mean? All the ones you close with, and like just being so familiar with that fucking music and making it a part of you. Cause man, when you do that, you know what I mean? Like me watching you guys, I was like, these guys are young and dude, I could say, being in it as long as I have, I could give you, critiques on things.
Yeah.
But I think as a base, as a beginning of this project, you guys are on the right path, man. You know what I'm saying? To keep that, being mindful and being humble and fucking honing those first couple spots, even if you book the fucking show, right? Take them first spots. Don't be the guy to go, I'm playing in the middle of everything. You can take that spot if you want to, but them opening spots, because if you jump on a show, that's what you're going to get until you pay those dues. You know what I mean? People are going to go, well, I've only seen you play 5 times. You know what I mean? So I'm going to have to ask you to open.
Yeah,
okay.
That's fine.
Don't get mad about it. Just go, all right. Hope you guys are ready to fucking up your game, because we're coming out swinging. That, you know what I mean? That's how I looked at it. It was like, you just picked a fight with the biggest motherfucking dog in the room. I'm ready to throw down. You know what I mean? Like, all them other bands are going, these dudes are fucking 20 years old. Holy fuck, man. We better bring our game.
I've been in chats before for setting up shows where people are arguing about slots, and it's like, dude, we're all local bands. Like,
Right.
it's like, we're going to get the same amount of people there. It's
Right.
really
I know.
nice.
It's like we're all in the same caliber.
Exactly.
It is, but the thing is that you have to understand, like jockeying for position is a big thing, because if you're willing to open the show, you're getting there possibly or you're playing before people even get there, right?
Yeah.
So the second slot or the third slot are always when people are there. They're starting to get their drink on. Now you're going to get into the fourth and fifth slot. Now they would back when I was younger, you would be the headliner. Now to be the headliner, you had to play those front slots for a good long time to be able to prove that you could hold a crowd, And now with the restrictions with drinking and driving, with the, you know what I mean? Like people want to get, if you're, back then it would start at like 7, 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
So then the bands would start at like 9, and then the bars open till 1 or 2 in the morning, right? Nobody wants to fucking drive home at 2 in the morning when it's bar closed. You know what I'm saying? They're like,
They're waiting for you.
Plus you can't drink, right? Because so you're headlining, now you can't drink because you're fucking stuck the whole show sitting there going, damn, I can't enjoy myself because I got to play. If you're professional, right, you're not going to get fucked up and play your set all sloppy and stupid, right? So you can't enjoy yourself. So those first slots, man, once you have them and you hone them in, man, that's the shit. Because now you're like, I'll take that slot. I will fucking take that slot and I will jam it down your fucking throat every time you give it to me. That's how I look at it, man. Like, so many people were and that's what I was saying, man. People will, once you're a good band, they'll start pushing you. Like, okay, well, we're going to, since we're putting the show on, we're going to take that third slot because it's right in the middle, you know what I mean? Since we're putting it on, we can pick our slot, right? So then you start doing good, and they want to push you to that fourth one, like make you headline that shit. If you don't have a good fan base, you got no fucking business doing that shit, man. You're only setting yourself up for failure because it's going to be like that first slot. People are now starting to trickle out because they want to go home and be in their neighborhood to get fucked up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also a thing about it is that has to do about it is stage presence. Like, you got to like make the crowd move. You got to get the crowd moving. Got to get people like, feeling good and stuff.
The main focal points when I saw you guys, Chase is a beast. That dude he's a freaky beast, dude. He's like the fucking kind of Pumpkinhead type shit. He's like he reminds me of Ben from Goat Whore. He's long and lanky, and he's just like, You know what I mean? He's got that evil face to him too, and you are like focused and heavy, like just way into it. Now the other guitar player, you can tell he's a little green, but he was still in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you were focused. You were just fucking doing your shit. You know what I mean? That, you know, is all shit you got to work on. That's it. I mean,
Yeah.
and I've always told like guitar players that are like focused on their shit, if you know 4 lyrics, right? 4 lyrics, that's it. In the middle of it, the dude says, oh, like that. All you got to do is, dun, 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 dun. As soon as he hits that, you look at the crowd and go, oh, with the fucking singer. Now they're like, damn, that guitar player's throwing down now. You know what I mean? Like, he just sucked me in, you know? Like, it's the motion behind it that people are like, he's fucking for real with this shit.
That's
you know what I mean?
exactly why I have Chase send me the lyrics, because he's like, I think he thinks that we want to like approve it, because we're going to approve it either way, because he's really good at that. I like to get to know, like, he has like, all of his lyrics are good, but every song has like 1 or 2 where it's like, okay, that's just really either like witty or really good, and it's like that's the one that I'm gonna like remember and do that exactly.
Yep. That's huge, man. I've told so many like bass players even, you know what I mean, because they're in it. You know, a lot of times they're trying to stay with it as fast as it goes. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to stay in it, but I think that, you know, if you feel one particular part, if you're focused on playing, you know, that's great. But if you can look at the crowd in that one part and articulate that one part, the next time they see you, they're going to be like, there was one part that fucking bass player did this crazy thing with his face. You know what I mean? Like he's headbanging, you know, with the singer. That's the shit they remember, man. That's the shit that sucks them in, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they really want to see you moving around and stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
Man, you know what? And I know, because I've been in it a long time. It's hard sometimes to, you know what I mean? Because you may not be able to hear as good as you did at the club before. You know what I mean? That you're only hearing your amp. You're not hearing the other guys. You might lose time here and there. I mean, I know that it's a difficult thing, but you know that's where, you know, practicing with the minimal fucking sound in your shit, you know what I mean? Because if you practice in a small room, you hear everything, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes the vocals will get drowned out from what you're being a drummer too. I mean, you're fucking, it's real hard unless they wash you. You know, if the guitar player's washed towards you, then you're going to hear. But if you have no fucking monitors up there, you got to be prepared for that shit.
Exactly.
And I mean, who's got $2,000 to $3,000 to drop on fucking, in-ears and shit?
So if we want to talk about our practice space for a second, our room is smaller than this. We're at Northeast Minneapolis City Sound.
Yeah.
It's probably half the size.
It's like half the size, and like the way we have it set up is that it's like a long like closet, I describe it, but a little wider.
It's a walk-in closet.
We have rhythm guitar amp right there, Chase's PA right there, and then my guitar amp over there, and then Steve is like right where you would be. So we're kind of like all facing Steve. So it's kind of like almost like those like Metallica jam room backstage vibes kind of deal.
Yeah, and even still, I can like barely hear anybody.
Yeah,
you know?
I can hear the pitch of Chase's vocals. But from practicing enough, I know where he's at. Yeah. So like, even if it's just from pitch, like the other day, I was like, that's not right. That part when we messed up, I was like, that's not right. I could just tell from the pitch.
What part?
He did some verse early or something. I don't remember.
Oh, an acute.
Yeah.
No, accuser. He missed his cue.
Yeah, and I could tell just from the pitch. And
and that's the thing though too, man, is to know. Because you know it's there if you fuck up, and the thing is like not to get that sour face like, oh, how we fucked up, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times the crowd has no fucking clue.
Yeah, no, I don't do that live. I only do that in practice so they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's always good to like, not face each other when you're playing. You know what I mean? Like you don't have a choice, but guitar player's facing away from him. So he has to watch where your hands are from behind or anything, any cues that you guys give each other, because there were times where I wouldn't be able to hear shit, but I would watch where the drummer was going, or the bass player was moving to one spot.
That's exactly what I do. I just like watch their fingers and like some.
Again, that's that language we're talking about, man. That you catch.
But we there's that's prepared us for some situations before that were less than ideal, and we were able to pull it off at least decently because, it's we can just. I say what we can hear in the space is like necessity. Like I can hear like his the main cymbals and like the snare, and just the pitch of vocals to make sure everybody's on track. And like
you can hear my trigger, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I trigger my kick. So.
Right.
But the monitors, like he has one because we do the sample pad, and he has one next to him to make sure that's going and his backups are going, and then Chase's monitor to make sure he hears himself. That was found in an abandoned house that survived a house fire. We didn't buy that.
Right.
So like, and it's lasted them the whole time.
Dude, that's got some juju to it, man.
Yeah.
If that starts to get fucked up, you need to have him go get that speaker redone, because that's a piece that you never want to get
That's
rid
been
of,
with
you know?
us for both bands, Chase and I. Yeah, and like we did a show where we let every band use it, and they loved it too and stuff like that. And it's not like a good luck charm, but it's like it's been
No,
with
but
us.
it's the demon, dude. That's the demons, dude. The motherfucker survived hell and shit. It went
Yeah.
through a fire, dude. You know.
Yeah, it was some. I think he said it was like a country
country
guy.
band,
It was
yeah.
a country band in the middle of the woods in St. Michael, and their house burned down, and they just left all their shit there. That's where you guys recorded that demo, right?
What demo?
The Tied by a New stuff. I think Chase said they recorded some shit. They went in the house and like recorded stuff on the iPad in the house.
Oh, there. I didn't go to that one.
That's pretty rad.
yeah.
That's pretty rad, though.
No, yeah, and I'm into that kind of stuff because I do photography too, and so I know about all those spots. So like our band photos, that's in some like random ass cave in St. Paul.
Nice.
Like,
Yeah.
so like that's my like I like to contribute stuff like that too, and but yeah, no, it's we're prepared for sound because of that. You know.
Hey,
what I mean?
what's Chase's girlfriend's name?
Kenna?
What's that?
Kenna?
Kenna.
Kenneth?
Kenna?
No.
Kenna. Kenna.
Yeah.
Okay. It sounded like you said Kenneth, and I'm like, it's a dude? You know? No, but shout out to her, man, because that poster she made was dope as fuck.
Oh, yeah,
no.
with the
Very cool.
pictures. Oh yeah,
No,
I just saw that in
I
person.
thought that was.
Oh no, that
Yeah,
wasn't
that was
Chase's girlfriend.
Alex's
That's
girlfriend.
Alex's girlfriend.
Alex's
Yeah.
girlfriend. Okay.
Nona. Yeah.
Nona.
All right. Shout out to her, because
Yeah.
that shit is awesome, man. And
Yeah.
and to have a girlfriend that's supportive and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You love your band more than me, but
Nope.
she's contributing to
She,
it is always really cool.
She plays bass.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and she likes metal
yeah.
and stuff like that. And she also did by hand like that size drawing of our logo. Just
Nice.
copied it by hand, like identical, and it's pretty dope. And we have that
Damn.
hanging up. too.
Talented gal, dude. That's
Ooh,
fucking
yeah.
awesome, man.
Ooh
Yeah.
yeah.
Didn't she say she just did it with a pen?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just a pen.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's like the original black and white version, and it's like spot on.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome, dude. So October 23rd, you guys are playing, and you're working on something for September as well, correct?
Yeah, no, we're pretty sure that's going now. We got a full lineup and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check in with
September
my buddy later.
All right.
Yeah.
Make sure that you get me some flyers for these shows, man. I will
I will.
definitely post and try to get some folks over there for you.
All right, sounds good.
I know that I'm excited for you guys, man. You got a lot of potential and a lot of fucking dude. You can keep going at this for a long time, man. If you keep that language up, you know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Because you guys are onto something way early in the game, man. There's a lot of us musicians out here that haven't tapped into them type of resources, man, or let the partying and drugs and shit get involved, you know. And you guys are young enough to where, you know, it's going to be out there. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be, and I'm a dad, so I you know what I mean? Like I tell my
get it.
kids, like, you know, like avoid that shit as much as you can. Like having a few drinks is fine. Smoking a little weed's fine here and there. But, you know, don't get into any heavy shit, man, and try to, you know,
yeah.
keep your wits about you because, you know, world's a dangerous motherfucking
I mean,
place
I don't
these
know
days, man.
if it was because of me, but like I was able to, because I went through all the hard shit in high school. I had a pill problem and stuff like that, and I was able to tell them just don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
Not worth
Yeah, I
it.
mean, it's not even about that. It's just about like not going overboard with it either.
No.
With
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
with drinking and smoking and weed.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I for financial reasons, like I'm kind of back on that for a while, even too, and then. Drinking, it's like that's just for me for shows. Right? That's literally like even though like I was told like the second you turn 21, you're gonna like you need to be way careful. You're
Yeah.
gonna turn yourself into an alcoholic, especially if you're in a
Oh, yeah.
band. And I was like, all right. So then I literally it's almost like as if music isn't playing, I'm not gonna drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like practice. I'll have like one or two Coronas or something like that.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna go hard shit. I either got to be like at home with like my girlfriend or something like that, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like I had the Long Island at the show,
Yeah.
and that's it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That's good, man. You gotta keep it that way, man. You know, because that shit will get in the way, man. You start focusing on other things other than what you truly love, man. It's really easy to slip away from you. You know, I can attest to that. I've been doing this a long time, and I got caught up with a lot of different shit.
No, I've been in projects with people who were on like it happens. if you know what to look for like I did, like I was able to like I saw it right away. He told me, he was like, hey, just doing it once in a while, and I was like, all right. And then like I just saw like it's like this dude was spot on, and then he was dropping stuff and stuff like that, and I was like, you don't do that. That's not you. Like I was like, so I was able to tell, and I was like, that's not a once in a while thing. You got a problem, dude.
Yeah.
So like it sucks, but for me at least, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. It's a good way to look at it, man.
Yeah.
You know, just to be aware of it is like a really, really important thing, man.
Sounds very corny, but it's like comparing, like I can say this from experience, like being up there on stage and seeing like dudes like you and then like friends that I've had in the music scene for years, like hearing my new shit that's for the first time since like COVID and stuff like that. Like that was like, it's like screw drugs. You know what I mean? Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. There's speaking for myself, there's like no better feeling than being on stage. I mean, that's one of the best feelings ever.
Yeah.
And the hour you drop something new online or like on like CD, that's like
that too.
Watching the counter go up, even
dude,
if it's
I know because man,
Yeah.
I just bought a fucking really nice camera, and you guys were like some of the first people that I shot with that camera, so it was like I know what you're talking about, man. When you feel like you have a knack for something, you know,
Yeah.
and you're doing it, and people are like, damn, dude, this is looking good, and I've had like, you know, photographers that I admire, you know what I mean? Like hit me up and go, dude, you're doing a great job. Like keep going, man. You know what I mean? I know I don't play music anymore at this particular point, but I know exactly how you feel when you drop something and people are like, dude, this is heavy. Or you hear it on the radio, or you go to, you know, fucking The Root of All Evil. Have you guys been down there? Have you guys dropped any
I've
music
listened
to them?
They have played us. Yes, they have played us. I haven't met any of them, but
Josh Kellerman, the singer of Semtex.
Yes, no, I can't wait to meet those dudes in person. But yeah, they've played us before and it meant a lot, and it was cool. It's like I've listened to them before to hear local bands and stuff like that, and I tuned in, and it was just like, even though it's local, and even though a lot of people listen to them, even though it's local, it's just like it's just being in the car driving home from like Taco Bell. And then just turning it on, and I was like, "Wait a minute, this is my music."
Yeah.
On people could like in the other cars could like tune in and hear this right now. Like what?
Yeah.
Like
It's surreal, ain't it?
yeah.
Yeah. The guy who started that shit, man, we could call him up. But them records that I showed you, man.
Yeah.
When we dropped those records or those cassettes back then, that was one of the first guys we got him to, you know. It was like, here, dude, play this shit for you. People would call in and ask him to play it, and we'd hear it. It was just a cool thing on a Saturday night, you know what I'm saying? So those guys in Semtex, man, every one of them have been in the music scene for a long time, but besides the bass player. Damien is like one of the newer cats in town.
Yeah.
But he's been playing a long time. But, you know, Dennis, the guitar player, Josh, the vocalist, Aaron Limatinen, who's been fucking in a bunch of bands around town, and the drummer. So Dennis and Mike are the drummer and guitar player.
Yeah, they're brothers, right?
They used to play in Necromus back in the day. So you know what I mean? I've known them dudes for fucking ever. So it's like, they appreciate it, man. They're like, I mean, we all are kindred spirits because we all started when we were young. You guys are young. They know what it's like. They appreciate that effort, man. So that's huge, man. Very cool.
We really appreciate it when like radio stations play our stuff, and like, you know, I even appreciate like little comments that we see on like Facebook and Instagram and stuff. Are just like, yeah, this is so heavy. This fucking rocks, dude. And I'm like, just means the world to us.
It only gets better, bro. It only gets better, man.
Yeah, and it's another really cool one is like it's even if it's like a really small one, like I've seen like you got to check out like what people post on Reddit.
Yeah.
You got to look up your bands on Reddit, because like I found some article, even though only like 2 people saw it, some dude in Japan posted our stuff on his podcast, and I was like, what? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's huge, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's fucking amazing, man. You know, I mean, we got a good following here too, you know, and it goes all over the fucking place. So what does he say? What does Adam say? Stay away from drugs. Use the music as your drugs.
Exactly.
Drugs, they just duck people up.
I
Fuck people up.
No, I definitely agree with that, and especially that's what I'm going for with the new material I'm writing. Not that I like the you know, the drinking or the weed, that's all left that I've ever really touched in recent days, and it's like I just wanted to try, instead of like, you know, like depression and stuff like that. Like I went through a really hard let's do all the drugs. I went through a really hard time last year with some stuff, and like I just was like, how about I I never had tried like putting like feeling straight in the song, you know, like
Yeah.
I was just like, you know, like more mathematical about it in a way.
Yeah.
And it's better. Like the music is better and stuff like that.
When you put your emotions into it?
Yeah, and it's like there's like new stuff we've been writing that it's like I was like, why didn't I just do this like the day after all this shit went down? I could have avoided a whole year of like, you know what I mean?
Because you're working through it.
Yeah.
That's what it is, man. Is that, you know, I mean, the language that you guys speak to each other, you know what I mean, is something when you go through hardships, man. And I lost my stepfather, the only dad I knew. In the process of a lot of that, man, my grandfather, I wrote songs about both of those guys, and yeah, man, it shows through. But it took me a while to work through that shit. You know, you don't want to rush it either. You know what I mean? If you and you know from the first song that we played, what was it? Opus Dei. Opus Dei. Okay, so you said you held on to that riff for 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So if you think about that, man, it comes out when it wants to come out. But when you focus on it, like I've been all feeling through all of my writing, but having to be able to go through and write it without having feeling it was harder for me, you know?
You know, Chase does it a lot for his lyrics. I've done it unintentionally. Like Opus was written like it's about like it's kind of like about like getting back at religion in a way, because both Chase and I got like pretty screwed over by like the church and stuff like that, and like it happened like the lyrics got written like scarily close to when the Notre Dame one burned down.
Sure.
And then I was literally in the process of writing the he was writing Call of the Void, and Chase and I were working on like the final touches of like the lyrics when the precinct burned down.
Right.
And like so that kind of tied in and stuff
Right.
like that. So it's been unintentional, but now we're doing it intentionally.
Well, you know, that's the thing too,
Yeah.
man. With those type of experiences, man, and this is something that confused me as a young man too, when it comes to the things that are supposed to be the guidance in life. You know what I mean? The Bible and all of this stuff with church and in law and order to begin with as well. You know what I mean? You put your trust in these people to guide you in the right direction. And then, you know, with pastors and with fucking, you know, priests and shit, they do things to kids, they fuck things up.
Yep.
You know, and then again, like you said, one of your experiences with the church, it's somebody going, "What are you doing here with that?"
Yeah.
Like, it's none of your fucking business what I got on, what's in my heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're a Christian, you're supposed to see what's in my heart. I'm here. I'm not, you know, killing somebody that you can
Right.
judge. You're judging me in a house that you're supposed to be looking at me for the grace. You know what I'm
And
saying?
they pushed me out.
Yeah.
They pushed me out.
Fuck
I'm not
them,
there.
man.
I'm anti-religious now and shit.
You know, and
Like,
that's the thing though, is
Yeah.
that's what fucked with me so much, because I'm not anti-religion. I'm whatever you get your strength from. That's
oh yeah,
where,
exactly.
That's where I'm at.
Like
you
I'm not
know?
gonna like shit on somebody like that. I'm just like I'm more of like the control form of thing is what
Yeah.
I'm against. Like
Yeah.
if people believe stuff, like I have friends who are Christian, I have
Yeah.
friends who are Muslim and stuff like that. I don't
Right.
care. You know what I mean? But like it's, dude, church hurt is a real thing. Like no joke. I feel no.
And he's a religious cat. That's
Yeah.
that's coming from
Yeah.
Adam, and he's a religious
Yeah,
cat.
no,
you know?
not trying to dunk on anybody what they believe. It's up to you. You know, I have my personal spiritual beliefs still, but it's not really religious. But you know, it's this kind of music's helped. You know, even if some of the stuff that I write in there, it's like I'm not gonna actually go burn down the church that I
Right,
went to as
right.
a kid. Like you know what I mean?
But mentally,
Yeah.
it's not going to hold you up either.
Yeah, and then-
because you're burning all of that shit that fucked with you in your head.
Yeah, and then it's like I always thought, it's back in the day, like if I ran into the people that were dicks to me at church, like I'd like freeze up and stuff. And then before that Zilbalba show, I went to the Wabasha Brewery Company,
Yeah.
and I saw literally like half my old church there.
Yeah.
And like I was like, we just walked over there like right next to them, and I was just like fine talking. They were all like looking at me and stuff, and I was like, eh. And like they were looking at us because like I'm like out of the whole group I'm probably the most normal looking one.
Right.
And they were like, this dude's over here, and like I'm like I had like a cigarette and stuff like that, and they're like, what the hell? Like they didn't know me to be like that. And like in my head I was like, listen, like no disrespect to religion or music, but I'm like, I'm out here just drinking. You're here playing like a Christian bluegrass
Right.
show in public to like
Right.
random people. Like, who like like who am I? I'm the one that's looking like
Yeah.
like half the people there were metal fans waiting for the show to begin. So it's
Right.
like look at your audience, man.
Yeah.
But it was whatever. It's I never they. they always like tried to pressure me into like doing like different groups and stuff, and like to this day like they're still harassing my parents to try to keep their donations even though they haven't gone there in years and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like
because that's what they need, man,
yeah,
you
no,
know?
no, and it's like we just found out like the donation would be like they're like even their referent, like, you know, and they've been like really wanting my family to give it to
Right.
them, and they're like no. And I remember when I was going to go to my first club show, I was so excited about it at the Caboose because I was finally old enough to go, and it was like a Die Hard is Murder show. And it, like, I remember, like, telling, like, the youth, because she was, like, she used to try to be cool with me. She was like, oh, I used to listen to, like, the Misfits and Black Flag when I was your age, you know what I mean? And, like, and I was told her, I was like, I'm going to a deathcore death metal, like, big show. And she just looked at me and she's like, I think I need to talk to your mom.
That's hilarious.
And my
man.
mom's like, I know. Like, I know he's going. He's old enough to go now. What's like?
What can you do about
Yeah.
it? You can't do nothing. Yeah, that's awesome. That church hurt will be used as fuel to put into music. The scars you get from this world will be used as painting on a blank canvas. He ain't lying, man. You're not fucking lying there, brother.
Yeah.
I know how it is, man. And you know, that's how it is with the entire world, especially in the turmoil we are in with this pandemic and politics and religion and all the shit. You know, you see these people that you know you're supposed to like, again, they're supposed to guide you. You know.
Yeah.
I pissed my mom off a few years back because she's really religious and I made a lot of anti-Jesus jokes, and she called me up, and she was upset, you know, and hurting your mother, you know what I mean, making your mother cry is a big thing, man. That really hurts me, but I also had to teach her a lesson too, like, you know, hey, if God made me who I am, He knows that I'm a fucking goofball, right?
Yeah, right.
So if He knows I'm goofing, right, then He can do exactly what you're taught to do, is forgive me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So be a good Christian and forgive me. I'm your son. I come from you. You know what I mean? You taught me how to be who I am. I still love everyone around me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I give absolutely nothing but respect and love to the people that I care about. Yeah. The motherfuckers that I don't care about, they don't get my time. You know what I mean? I don't have time for that shit. You know, life is way too short. At 48, almost 49 years old, man, I don't have time for that bullshit.
Right. I was able to peacefully like cut my way with that. You know, I just kind of left, became an adult, and then they hit me up years later when I was in my old band. And I think actually this was like last year when I was before stuff got canceled. Yeah. And then one of them said, your mom didn't reply to me. I just wanted to know if a bunch of us could come to your show. And I was like, you know what? No problem with you guys, but it would just like, I don't think it would be the best. I didn't want to say, you know, because the songs are about you. But like, you know, like, you know, like I was like, it probably wouldn't be the best. You know, they left me on Red, all add me, unadded me.
From your church?
Yeah, they all like unadded me on Facebook and stuff like that. And the ones that didn't, after I went to that Cradle of Filth show, they definitely did. Yeah. So like, it's.
But again, that judgment, man, and that's the sad thing that doesn't reflect on you as far as like who you are, because you're being true to what you love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And those people are the judgy motherfuckers that are only going to hurt themselves by cutting people off. It's like it's like people on two sides of an argument, man. Do you want to get vaccinated or don't you want to get vaccinated? Yeah. To me, it doesn't fucking matter. I don't want to get sick. Yeah, I don't want to get anybody else sick. Right. I don't want anybody's parents or grandparents to die. Exactly. But at the same time, if I choose to do one or the other, fuck you down the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to be mad at you if you don't. I'm not going to be mad or think you're fucking wrong that you did. Like, it's your fucking choice, man. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But there are so many people out here, you know what I mean? These people that are supposed to be leaders, that are supposed to be guidance to young people, man. The people that, you know what I mean? That you grow up to respect these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always taught respect your elders. Right. But there are so many elders that disrespect you all the way up because they're like, you don't see what I see. Well, I'm different than you. I'm not you. I don't see the things the way you see. You know what I mean? I wasn't force-fed this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And again, I told my mom from the very get-go, I'm like, you know, your faith gives you strength, and that's all I care about. Like, that's your strength, but don't expect me to understand it, because I just don't understand it. And I'm not going to be disrespectful or rude about it, but it's just like, man, I'm just not that guy. You know what I mean?
No, that's probably I'm too far away.
Greg can bump the gain.
I'm probably too far away.
He's back a little bit.
My bad.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. We're almost to the end of this bad boy too, and we've got one more song to play as well. Right. You guys are playing. Do you know the lineup on the October 23rd show?
It's Semtex, Mollis, isn't it pronounced Usilic? And then
I think so.
Defiled Sacrament, us, and then isn't there one more? if I'm forgetting. I can pull up the poster.
I think I probably
I'm
have
not
it
sure.
too. Do somewhere in here in my giant fuck stack. October 23rd is what you said, right?
Yes, at the Club Underground.
Club Underpants.
Oh, Bludgeon.
Bludgeon.
Yep.
All right. Good deal.
Yeah.
Bludgeon. Holy fuck. I haven't seen them guys in a long time.
Yeah.
Very good. 3-piece. They were a 3-piece anyways. I wonder if they grab dudes or not. But yeah, October 23rd, that's Club Underground. Do you know what the cover is? If it's Chris's show, it's probably like $5 or something.
It should say.
Yeah, I
on
think
the
it's like
poster.
$5 or $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says $7.
$7. Hey, we're right in the middle. But do me a favor, man. Come check theyese young cats out. They're up and coming, man, and they're doing well. Don't forget, you can get their album Destined to Rot on iTunes. You guys on Spotify and shit too?
Yeah,
yeah, we're on everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much everything you can
Apple
stream on.
Music,
All that,
Spotify,
yeah.
Nice.
Pandora.
Very cool, man. Very cool. And you guys will be dropping some stuff here pretty soon, or?
Pretty soon.
Yeah, soonish.
I mean, I'd be surprised if like 2022 comes and that there's not like at least a new song. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
Yeah, probably just like a single, maybe
Yeah.
even like. In the
And you
near
said you
future.
dropped this shit in like April or March, right?
Yep.
The goal is to have an EP out before that turns 1 year old.
Okay.
You know what
There
I
you
mean?
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with having goals, man.
Yeah.
Keep that shit rolling, man. And yeah, like I said, man, from the very beginning and before we got this shit started, if there's anything that I can do for you guys, man, being that you may not have connections in one spot, if I can find somebody that can help you guys out, man, don't be afraid to fucking hit me up and ask anything. And I know, like I said, John's suffering and you know, some of these other guys, Will Maravellis, when it comes to recording and stuff, he's great with doing the post stuff as far as like mixing and mastering. So get your tracks down, make sure you have all that stuff. If you guys need anything like that, 1459 is a good spot.
Oh yeah. No, I met him at the same show I met him at.
Yep,
Yeah.
he's a sweetheart of a dude, man, and he's always willing to help young cats out, and he gives a great deals, and he does. You know, they've got a thing, 1459 Live. They do.
I saw that.
David Rabin does 5 camera angles, and they do the pro sound recording there. So it's like live videos. You're playing that shit live, and they've got multiple angles. And I think they do like 3 songs for like $250. So that's actually pretty
Nice.
cheap.
We should.
And you can, you know, drop those online, especially if you're working on, you know, new material. You can keep this stuff alive by having live stuff. So
Yeah, no,
hit
that'd
those
be
guys
cool.
up at
That'd be cool.
1459.
Yeah, I
I
enjoyed
would
that.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that volcano diving one.
Yeah, dude,
That
those
was
guys are awesome.
Brad's awesome.
Yeah, Brad's a sweetheart of a dude. Oh, those
Awesome.
guys are fucking really fun live too, man. They
Oh,
put on
yeah.
a great show. They put on a great show.
They do.
Yeah, so like I said, man, anything you got that I can help you guys with, man, as far as promotion or anything, when you guys drop new stuff, if there's anything I can help with, photography,
Awesome.
anything, man, hit me
Yeah,
up. I'll
definitely
fucking
Thank you. Thank
I'll
you very
definitely-
much.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I just want to keep this going because,
For
man,
sure.
this is the you know, passing of the torch to the young cats, because you guys are the future, man. You know, you got to keep this shit going, and the more cats you guys hook up with and bring, you know, guys that are like, damn, these guys are really doing it, and you know, they want to come along and bring some more fucking
Yeah.
people into this shit, man.
My goal is, you know, people are doing like my generation's a lot on like the metalcore, deathcore thing.
Right.
Not everybody.
Right.
But my goal is to keep that going. But I want to make kind of music that's like people are going to be like, oh yeah, you know, like these guys listen. And it's mainly through that and shirts. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
these guys were like Slipknot. It's like I'm always going to try to like get like Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel on there,
Oh,
because it's
yeah.
like I want to
Yeah,
get.
definitely.
I just want to like make sure like, you know, they can stay with that, but it's like this stuff is what these guys came from. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
Morbid Angel and like it's just and Suffocation and everything like
Yeah,
that. It's
dude.
just it's
yeah.
like it's like I always make this joke and it's not even a joke. It's like people will like talk about hardcore and slam and stuff like that, and it's like they're like, how do we go back to the beginning? It's like Legion Veracity. Like Suffocation, just that one riff, the dun 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 dun.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's 30 years old now.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty cool.
Yep. I saw that shit live, dude.
Yeah.
You know, that's that shit
Awesome.
right there, dude. Hell yeah. It's killer to hear you guys talk about that and have enthusiasm about that old metal like that, man. It's
yeah.
really a treat for me, man. It gives me hope for this underground generations, man, because it's like you get lost in it, man. You
Yeah.
start seeing the same shit over and over and over again, man.
And
you
like
know?
he was saying, like, you know, I'm not. It's like people in my generation, they're working up. They want to meet like their like favorite, like, you know, they want to meet like Bieber or something. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, because I But like, meanwhile, when I was in school, I was fanboying out, meeting like Dave Lombardo and like Mike from Suicidal Tendencies and stuff like that. Like that was me freaking out meeting those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was even freaking out like meeting Darius from Spike.
Oh yeah,
Darius
he's
Tirani.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Hell yeah, dude. All right. Well, folks, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. And do me a favor, check out Anti-Broadcasting, custom screen printing. If you're looking to get some shirts done, antibroadcasting@gmail.com or 612-836-9488. Or check out some Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective, 612-353-4755. That's Lowbrow Saints at Gmail. Make sure you give them a call. Tell them I sent you. They'll fucking tell you you're going to pay more. But thank you very much. The next track we're going to play is Stains of Society. You can check these guys out at facebook.com/Defiled Minnesota, or MN, I'm sorry, Defiled MN. Check these guys out. Make sure you look them up on iTunes, Spotify, all those good streaming sources. God damn it. Thank you guys for coming, and I appreciate you. Enjoy it, fellas.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
What? Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast.